Today, we know what the PlayStation 5 looks like. Twitter jokes, mostly. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. It's a beautiful day here in Victoria.
According to the weather app on our phones.
Haven't been outside in, what year is it?
The New York City Department of Corrections has banned prison visits and social mingling due to COVID-19. So in order to give their prisoners any sort of distraction, the DOC purchased and distributed 5,500 handheld gaming consoles to the prison population. Want to see what they bought? Here. These Game Boy knockoffs, preloaded with hundreds of bootleg games, cost about $15 each, meaning the DOC spent almost $83,000 on illegal goods for their prisons. Now, I'm no fancy New York City lawyer, but I do have some free legal advice for the Department of Corrections. If you get a call from Nintendo's lawyers, you best set aside a few of these for yourself.
Remember that router you called ugly in high school? Well, this is them today. During this week's PS5 event, Sony revealed a swath of upcoming games for their new console, culminating in the first public look at the PS5 itself. We here at CheckPoint don't like to judge something based on superficial appearances, but since all they showed of the PS5 was what it looks like, let's get judging! The PS5 looks like a PS2 wearing a shirt with popped collars. The PS5 looks like a Dubai skyscraper that Tom Cruise will base jump off in the next Mission Impossible movie. The PS5 looks like it was built by Aperture Science and will therefore probably kill us all. The PS5 looks like a clam tried to eat a Dyson Airblade and got stuck. And most unfortunate of all, the PS5 doesn't look like it will sit very well on its side.
Years ago, SimCity creators Maxis had a tiny business unit called Maxis Business Solutions, a division focused on teaching people about complex, real-world models by simplifying them into something resembling a game. One of their projects was SimRefinery, made on contract to the oil company Chevron. It was used to train employees on how to run a refinery without blowing it up or trapping it in a swimming pool with no ladders. But because SimRefinery was purely for internal use at Chevron, it never escaped the 90s, and the only remaining copies were probably moldering in a middle manager's filing cabinet. Until now. You see, several weeks ago, Ars Technica spotlighted a story written by Phil Salvador about Maxis Business Solutions, and the race was on to find SimRefinery. And boy, you nerds delivered. An anonymous source uploaded an early prototype to archive.org, and the internet rejoiced! Until 4 days later, when the source got cold feet and asked archive.org to take it down. And the internet wept because there is definitely no way any of the 20,000 downloaded copies would end up on abandonware sites or torrents or even just re-uploaded to archive.org. And while SimRefinery is an interesting historical curio, it isn't a game. Game adjacent at best. I mean, it was made for the kind of people trained to decipher this. And if you know what alkalination is or what a hydrocracker does, then SimRefinery was designed specifically for you. And if you don't, then expect to be about as successful playing this as you were when you kept your Sims awake for 72 hours and let them burn eggs while they peed themselves.
Destiny 2 has a big problem. One of Destiny 2's big problems is the sheer file size of this lad. It tries to download smoothly, but it's so dummy thick that the clap of its gigabytes keeps clogging the hard drives. So Bungie has introduced the Destiny Content Vault, which is like the Disney Vault, but with fewer Uncle Remus stories. The Destiny Content Vault is a place for Destiny content to go when it's not really needed right now, and Bungie needs the space. Last week, during the Future of Destiny 2 stream event, the developer made it clear that they're taking Destiny 2 seriously, to the point that they're not even planning for a Destiny 3 right now, and in fact, announced yearly expansions for 3 further years. In the immediate future, when Year 4 launches in September, Destiny 1's large Cosmodrome patrol space is returning to the game, and so heading into the Vault will be the current patrol zones of Mercury and Mars, and Io, and Titan, and the Leviathan, which isn't a patrol zone, but is where 4-ish pieces of raid content and a 6-player co-op activity live. That's a lot of stuff. But sometime in Year 4, Bungie are also bringing back the very first Destiny 1 raid, Vault of Glass, which should buy them some time while they remember how to make new raids. Also during the stream event, game director Luke Smith apologized for the amount of FOMO, or fear of missing out, designed into the game at this moment, something the community has vocally complained about. Smith said the FOMO would be greatly reduced going forward, and also took personal responsibility for the FOMO, which, yeah, Luke, we know it was you. So ultimately, yes, it does sound kind of silly to talk about reducing FOMO while also vaulting swaths of content, but I guess if this is the content you feel like you were missing out on, you've had 3 years? What's that? I've just been informed that at time of recording, the new 3-player dungeon Bungie just added to the game is scheduled to go away at the end of this season, so I guess that was a lie.
I feel like Bungie does this to you a lot.
Almost constantly.
Coming up, Itch.io has raised over $5 million for the NAACP and the Community Bail Fund with an epic 1,300 game bundle for racial justice and equality. Not only is this a much better deal than anything in Valve's Summer Games event, unlike Valve, Itch.io has done anything in support of Black Lives Matter. You're going to get a call from Nintendo lawyers. Hi, Baxter. He had a drink and now he has water in his nose.
Whoa.
He's damp.
He flung water all over me.
Let's take that again.